All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on week number 4 on our HomeSmart International Winning Listings Business Builder. I'm Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart, and I thank all of you for joining us today. Would like to take a quick minute and thank all of our affiliates and our sponsors who we work with to help all of you create powerful marketing that wins listings every week. And just want to thank all of them for working with us and for working with all of you. So let's dig in though, and let's start talking about winning listings week number 4. Our goal out of doing this business builder is that you become a successful listing agent and you grow your business in 2019. So many of you have emailed privately or texted or called and have said, how do I get all the follow-up information? How do I see previous recorded, what do we call them, sessions that maybe you might have missed? So we need to make sure all of you are registered, even if you're here on the webinar today. Make sure you're registered go to homesmart.com/winning-listings. Put your name, your email in, your phone number. We'll make sure that we get you all of the follow-up information and a copy of today's PowerPoint as well and the PDF of today's session. Want to thank, we've done this now 4 weeks in a row. We're on week number 4. Week number 1 and 2, Jeannie and Sharif, if you're on the call, I received this week so many thank yous and compliments about how agents loved week number 1 with Jeannie Gusinger and Sharif Hagag up in Salem, Oregon. You two were amazing. And if you have a minute, go watch the recorded webinar if you missed the session. Week 2, we had Bobby Lieb. Bobby Lieb, top listing agent in the whole company, just an amazing realtor, loves to help other agents. And Bobby shared with us his 16 key points to becoming a successful listing agent. So Bobby, thank you for that. Last week, week 3, we talked about specific topics, highlights, tips from top producers, and we're gonna do that today as well because we actually did a little bit of a contest. We were looking on working our strategies to actions, but I'll get to that in a minute. So this is gonna take us right up into next week though. We are having our inaugural Growth Summit here in Scottsdale, Arizona, February 24th and 25th in Scottsdale. If you have not yet signed up for this, I would implore all of you, please do not miss it. I've interviewed several of the agents that are going to be speaking at this event. Would love to share some of that information with you today on the Winning Listings seminar, but don't want to give away everything that they're going to be talking about also next week at the conference. So if you want inspiration, if you want to celebrate and have a good time with all the top award winners around the company, create a powerful network of all those top agents around the country and walk away with some good marketing insights, I implore all of you, please go to homesmart.com/events and register. Don't miss the HomeSmart Growth Summit. It's worth the trip down here to Arizona. All right, why are we doing these business builders? Because we want results. And we want you to work with more home buyers, more sellers, but we also would like you to share your results with us. So we're asking you to email us, call us, post it on social media. We would really appreciate it. I'm gonna put the chat over here so I can watch it. Sorry about that. Send into the chat, participate here in today's session. Last week, we put a push on about talking about strategies and talking about turning them into actions. So we wanted to know what works. So please share them with your fellow agents, share them with us on Smart Agent Ideas, the private Facebook group, put them into the chat here today, and let's all help each other get better. If you haven't yet joined Smart Agent Ideas, go to Facebook, put a search in your Facebook app, Smart Agent, all one word, Ideas, and Smart Agent Ideas will come up. It's a private-only group. You'll have to request to join, and we'll let you into the group, and then you can see all this information, and we'll post everything there as well. So let's dig in. Week number 4, here we go. We only have an hour to cover, and we got a lot of ground to cover. So week 1, we went over with Jeannie and Sharif. We really broke it down into 4 key areas. We talked about brand building. We talked, which is different than prospecting. Brand building is long-term, but it's so important, so solid. What is our brand and how are we known amongst our industry? Then we talked about planting seeds with buyers. It seems that everyone we talked to before they became a powerful listing agent, at some point they were working with buyers and they planted seeds with buyers who then later on sold, became listers, became people who were selling homes, or they referred you out to other people that were selling homes. So planting seeds with buyers is key. Prospecting and lead generation, engagement, that's what it's all about. So focused a lot on that. And then we talked about making the actual presentation itself to the sellers. Week number 2, as I already said, Bobby, he shared his 16 secrets of being a successful listing agent. If you haven't watched that video, also watch that. Get a hand on that, the PDF of his PowerPoint and presentation. Lots of valuable information and checklists in there. Last week, we really focused on turning these strategies, though, that we talked about and turning them into action. And the goal was to actually have everyone across the country put a push on for a week. Get out of your comfort zone, maybe try some new things. And we've received so much response, I actually couldn't put all of the responses back into this week's presentation. Right before we came on air, one of the agents sent me an email, said, Todd, thank you, I'm enjoying this so much, it's pushing me. I tried BombBomb this week. I signed up for video marketing. I tried it. It was not comfortable to me, but actually I'm loving it because it's working. I'm getting great results, and I'm going to continue to do more of it. So even if you just take away one thing like that and put it into action in your business, it's going to be a powerful thing for you, and it's going to help you win more listings. I'm going to show you in a moment a short 2-minute video of an agent who just did just that. Took one thing out of an entire marketing class, and you'll hear what she has to say about that. So we talked about key highlights, key insights. We also put together a cool little contest. So we asked some agents around the country to participate in a contest, and we asked all of you to participate. We've received many of your forms. Congratulations and kudos to all the agents who have sent those in to the email address, and we will be posting the winners on social media just for all of you to see. But good job. The contest was really more to push you and get you to do some activity and some actions that we really know results in business. Another thing is obviously we know it's 7 days. You can't just do everything you need to do in 7 days. And we didn't want to have the expectation that, oh, it was going to achieve these great results. But what I heard, and you'll hear from everybody that I interviewed, that it got them moving in the right direction, and they know that it's going to pay dividends. What they did do in these 7 days is going to pay dividends. Some already did this week, but some's going to pay dividends as they keep doing it moving forward. So without further ado, want to play a little video. I was in Grand Junction this week in Colorado, and I was with Donna Jennings. Donna is a top listing agent in Grand Junction, Colorado. We had a little mini award session and had a marketing session there in Colorado. But Donna said something to me afterwards. I don't want to steal the video, so I'm going to go ahead and play here. Hopefully you can all hear the video. I'm going to shut my video off and play her video, and let's go. Hello, everyone. I'm Todd Sumney, the Chief Industry Officer for HomeSmart International, and I'm here in Grand Junction, Colorado, and we had a great meeting here with all the agents in Grand Junction, and I have Donna Jennings, who's the #2 agent last year here in Colorado. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
On your great year. But we were out here a year ago. We did a marketing class, and we talked about the listing presentation, and you said something to me after the class today that I just wanted to share with all of the other HomeSmart agents about how you use the listing presentation, and most importantly, what impact did it have on your business last year?
Well, thank you so much. Yes, last year you challenged me to really think bigger about my business. And so in doing that, I adopted one recommendation that you made during that meeting, and that was using this listing presentation. And I've used it consistently last year, and I'll share a couple of my favorite things about it. But the most important thing is that my commissions literally doubled year over year, which was awesome. A way stretch goal, but I hit it. And so thank you for telling me to keep it simple and for telling me to trust you to use this. It really does work. I use it every time. A couple of the more important slides that I use every time, one touting how this gets syndicated out to so many places, over 1,000 places. That was so impressive to my clients. And then the conversation that maybe we all dread, the effects of overpricing. I love this sheet. I love just facing that off with the clients, and they appreciate it. So if you want to increase your business, use these.
I love it. I love it. All right, everyone, there you have it. Donna, firsthand, she also told me about how she saved a listing using the pricing sheet where they wanted to price it too high, right?
Yes.
And you just pointed right to that sheet. It really works. So please use it. Donna, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so if you want to talk about getting out of your comfort zone too, I hate myself on video. I hate my voice. I hate watching what I do, but it works. And the big thing here that I wanted you all to see and hear firsthand from an agent who she said, there were so many different ideas and different things that I know I could be doing, but I focused on that one thing and did it consistently. And she said it doubled my commissions, just doing that one thing. And to me, that's powerful. And I know I talk about stories. I talk about the things that I hear from agents as I travel around the country. And I just want to share those ideas with you, but I'm not making them up. And Donna, thank you. Learned a lot from you as well. And I want to do a little highlight too of what I took away from my conversation with Donna. Number one is, she uses the listing presentation always. She said she's working with a group of agents also that are there in her office, and she's imploring all of them, use the listing presentation always, every time. Point out the Smart SES page, as she said, and then the page about importance of pricing them correctly. One thing I didn't put a bullet point up here is she also told me she learned the importance of being prepared ahead of time and having 10 of them ready to go. And she always has 1 or 2 in her car. She has a couple at the office, and she tries to have 5 or 10 of them ready to go at all times, because you never know when that appointment is going to come up, and she wants to be prepared and ready, and she's trying to teach the younger agents to do that as well. And she was number 2 in all of Grand Junction. She had a phenomenal year. Her closing ratio was phenomenal. So just take that advice, implement the HomeSmart presentation into your business, and it should result in more business with listings. So thank you, Donna. Thank you for being willing to get on the video with us. I really do appreciate it. Additionally, I asked a broker out in New York to send us a short little video about having some tips, 5 tips for breaking into the luxury market. Now, Chris, I apologize if you're on the webinar. I couldn't actually download your video, so I couldn't get your video to play. So I'm kind of going to recap what Chris said. And I got to be honest with all of you too about some of my reaction to some of what Chris said. I kind of thought, you know what, there's got to be more to it than that, or some of it seems a little bit brash in the respect of, breaking into the luxury market. But when I sat back and I think about those top agents that are really working heavy in the luxury market, and I looked at everything down on paper, Chris is right spot on about maybe these aren't all the things that you need to do to break into a luxury market, but these 5 tips are right on the money for breaking into the luxury market. When I think about top luxury agents, they do these things. So number 1, Chris said, talk to luxury homeowners. And he said, use the Ford system. Talk about family, talk about occupation, talk about recreation and fun, fun things that make you personable, and talk about dreams. FORD, family, application, recreation, dreams. You've all met those agents that they can talk about anything, and when they meet somebody, it's like they've known them forever because they're comfortable talking. And Chris kept saying, get comfortable talking about family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. That's how you connect with people. He also mentioned about talking to attorneys and financial advisors, creating relationships with those people, because they advise luxury homeowners. They help them make financial decisions. So I thought point number 1, spot on, Chris, great, good job. Point two, this is where I got a little uncomfortable in a way, but Chris was right. He's saying think wealthy and be comfortable. Dine and shop where they do. When you're, private schools or private clubs, or participate and hang out where they are, where they spend time. And it just makes sense to be comfortable in doing that. So, when I think about top agents that work with a lot of luxury agents, they're comfortable in these places. They will spend time in these places, and it just is a way of being top of mind and also creating relationships with these people because you are where they are comfortable. Number three, he was talking about upgrading your knowledge, and point blank said you got to upgrade your personal appearance. So you got to take it up a level. You got to step it up. You got to dress to impress. You need to work on your luxury designations. So that's where that upgrading of the knowledge comes into play. You got to know the market and the stats and the home values in the area, what's going on in an area if you want to be able to sell in those neighborhoods. So again, Chris, right on the money, upgrade your knowledge and your personal appearance. Number four, clubs and charities, get involved. I do know from working with a lot of top agents that they participate in some private golf clubs or in some different swim clubs or different clubs that maybe a local neighborhood area where there's a club that all the homeowners in the neighborhood come and have dinner on Friday night or Saturday night, and they get involved. It really does work. Charities, the same thing. I can't tell you enough how many agents, you heard Jeannie talk about it in week one, community involvement, being involved in your community, being involved with charities. We interviewed an agent who's going to be speaking at the inaugural Growth Summit, who community service, charities is a huge part of how in less than a year they've built a business as an agent, and how luxury business has also started to come out of to be prevalent for him. You got to come to the Growth Summit and hear him because he has so many good insights. But charities and community involvement are a huge part of what he's doing, and it is paying off with luxury listings for this agent. Number five, this is advertising. He was talking about you got to have a solid, unique selling proposition in any advertising that you do. You have to know the right things to say. You have to know the right things that your customer wants to hear. But then when it comes to luxury, he's like, you got to go big. You got to spend some money on publications or local publications, or at least be in certain mediums, I guess we could say. You got to invest in some drip marketing. He talked about Google AdWords, and Google AdWords for luxury homes. For him, he's had great results, and his agent's doing that. And lastly, he said the HomeSmart luxury marketing and the HomeSmart signs, they really do work. Chris even has one hung up in his office, and it works really, really well. I added a sixth one on top of Chris because it came in a conversation we had after he did the video, where he was talking about the luxury flyers and open houses on luxury homes. So do these 6 times a year. I think we talked about this in week 1 or week 2, that one of the ways to make sure that you are top of mind with people who have luxury homes is you got to market luxury homes. So do luxury open houses. Ask someone with a luxury listing if you can sit their open house for them, or market them by creating a luxury flyer and sending it out to your sphere. So just 5 quick tips. Quick tips. We promised you that we would delve into some topical items like luxury, and there you have it. Thank you, Chris Carbone in Montgomery Valley, or Montgomery, New York, Hudson Valley. Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate you putting that together for us. I also interviewed Angela Maciel-Gibbons, and I'm going to shut my video off here, and I'm going to go to a recording that I did with her. Angela is a top listing agent in La Quinta, California, the Palm Springs area. We call it the Coachella Valley. It's Palm Springs, La Quinta, Palm Desert. She did over 50 transactions last year. I apologize, Angela. I don't have your exact number. I know that you probably had 35 plus listings last year as well. And she has some really unique insights in the next 20-minute video. So instead of having her live today, we're playing her recording. And I want you're just going to enjoy what Angela has to say. So without further ado, welcome Angela Maciel-Gibbons, and thank you for agreeing to do it, Angela. Here we go. All right, everyone. Hello. This is Todd Sumney with HomeSmart. I'm here with Angela Maciel-Gibbons. Did I say that right?
Yep.
You got it
All
right.
right. Angela is one of our top agents out in the Palm Springs, Palm Desert, La Quinta area. What do we call that? The desert cities, or what do we call it?
It's the Coachella Valley.
Coachella Valley.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. And Angela, for years, has been a top listing agent, as well as just a top agent in general, consistently ranking, in all the top awards there in Palm Springs. And I want to talk, since we're focusing on winning listings, every now and then some of you will share with me your successes. And at one point, to my memory, I can remember you telling me you came to a meeting, we did a marketing meeting, we talked about some different things. And after that meeting, I think you had 10 appointments where you tried using, even though you'd been in the business, I think over 20 years at the time, that you started.
10 years, 11 years.
11 years, okay. And then you started to use the HomeSmart listing presentation, and you had some real success with it. And then also you've done some unique things. You just showed me a moment ago, like how you have it in a binder, in a book, and how you use it. So I'd love to just hear you talk about how do you win listings, and then specifically how do you use that HomeSmart tool to help you win listings?
Okay. So when we have a listing appointment set up, it's a referral or door knocking or mailer that we send out, and somebody responds. So by the time we get to the door, they've already received an email from us with a whole listing presentation, the comps, letters of recommendation. They also receive a farm area in their area that they live, and then
so you deliver that electronically?
That is all in an email.
And it's all in an email.
It's super easy because it's already, in my computer. So it's just kind of cut and paste and add whatever other, and then a warm letter. Thank you for this opportunity. We look forward to meeting you. So it kind of sets the tone for what we're going to discuss. And if you're going to be meeting with an analytical or a person who's really going to want to dive deep into the numbers, they're going to want to look at all that information in depth. So instead of having these long, uncomfortable silences between the meeting, they can go through it at their leisure. So that's delivered to their doorstep. It's a knock, and if somebody's there, hand it to somebody, and if not, just leave it at the doorstep, let them know, or text them, hey, we had a packet delivered to your doorstep, please look it over, and I look forward to meeting you at whatever time of day. And then it also has the electronic one, and then when we get there with the same information. So a lot of times it's like, wow, I saw the videos, or yes, we looked over the information. They don't want to go through that whole thing, but if they do, I have the copy that I take in the folder, and then I have the computer, my iPad, that you so wonderfully downloaded for me years ago.
Right.
And then I take in my binder, which has this really thick plastic, but the presentation is prepared so for a seller, and then it's also prepared for a buyer. And this doesn't stay there. I bring this back.
Right.
This stays in my car, and every time that I meet with somebody, or if I get a last minute call, I want to meet with somebody at the office, I always have it in the car, and then I just take it down. It was lost for a little while, but we didn't found it. So
and you only have one copy of that, right? One copy of that book.
Of that hardbound book, yeah. It's a pretty hefty, thick book, yeah.
Well, it's impressive, though, too. Did you have it laminated? Like, how did you do that? Did you take it to Staples or?
Yeah, so Staples did it, and we got the very thick one. So it's just, it's very heavy duty, but it's beautiful. And Heather at the office, she made this copy, and then they had it laminated there. Right. And it's really an impressive book, and it goes through all of it. So it kind of takes the whole process of going through it, and you're not fumbling through, what am I going to say next? Because you go to the bottom tabs here, and then you know what you're going to be covering.
Right.
And then if you're already familiar with the steps that you're going to be taking with them, you can easily just flip through these pages. So in the back of this, after the presentation, are all of our letters of recommendation, our marketing plan for them. Sometimes they like to see that because they want to know that, you have some direction and you have a game plan in place. So it's really good to go through those points as well. And then these are letters of recommendations, people that have referred us. And a lot of these come directly from Zillow. So it's really easy to cut and paste.
Oh, no.
And then some of them, our clients say, go ahead, here's a letter for you. And then they add their phone number, so they want to call and then have a conversation with them. That's also pretty cool. And then here, and then at the bottom, the back pages, we add our affiliates, our partners, our escrow gal information. So when they see, and it's all in color, so there's our people here. And when they see their faces or when they get a call from them, they feel comfortable talking with the escrow gal because we've already said this is the best escrow gal, or this is the person that we're going to use to vet our buyers to make sure that they're qualified.
Right.
So it's just an awesome presentation. I love it.
How often do you use the overpriced section where it talks about the effects of overpricing a home? Does that come up very often for you? And
every time it's funny because everybody thinks their house is the best house on the street.
Right.
And it's the most, desirable, no matter what, it never fails.
Right.
And we deal a lot with brokers as well, because brokers hire us, commercial brokers and out-of-state brokers, to represent them in their transactions and sales. And it's just like, are you serious? You're in the business in your state, but it's kind of, it's funny, but it's a really good page because if we're not getting offers within the first 30 days, we're overpriced, period. That's it. And I really kind of hone that down. So when we're not getting those offers within the first 30 days, we can start talking about, okay, we have to reduce the price. We have to reduce the price and go back and do that. And when I'm not strong in that area, when they're like, no, this is what we want, I thought, okay, whenever I give in, I feel it in my stomach. It's like, oh, why am I doing that? And I overprice it. It's not good for anybody. So I still have done it, but it's costly because, of course, taking out listing is expensive. Marketing, advertising, man hours, doing open houses, and it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, be really strong with that.
Well, I love it. I really love what you've done with that binder there. Great idea to have them laminated. I haven't seen that before, and that's really impressive. So kudos to you. If you were to go on 10 appointments, how many do you think on average you would win out of 10 appointments every 10?
I would say about 8.
About 8?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think that success comes from? What makes you a successful listing agent? I know it's hard to talk about yourself. I apologize. I'm putting you on the spot.
No, fine. I coach a handful of agents that are new to real estate, and I always say the same thing. It's what my very first manager, Geneva Beston, told me. She says, just always tell the truth, and that's in everything. That's just like the golden rule of life. You have to tell the truth. And I think, and I know that we're all people, and the one thing that connects us is the ability to sense what the other person is about. And when we come from a place of we want to help this person, we want to help you, what's important for you, what can I do for you, how can I be of service? That comes across, right. And it's, I always say it's not about numbers. It's not about how much you make. It's how many people you help. When you focus all that there, everything else just happens. It's a natural process, but telling the truth, coming from your heart, doing the best, and not breaking your clients' hearts. Do what you say you're going to do. That's key. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so if lead sources, or not lead sources, but prospecting? Where do you generate the business from to even get the appointments, to be able to even have a customer take it to the step where you need to drop off a pre-listing packet and get a packet together for them? And what have you done over the years to increase that frequency? Because your listings have gone up every year, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying
and I should be prospecting more, getting on the phones more, calling more, door knocking more. But at the same time, it's we have clients that we've taken very good care of. So we've already taken care of like 4 generations of one family. Like
right.
The grandparents, the parents, the kids, and now the younger generation. It's incredible. I got a text message today. I was at the dentist. I'm here. And she texted me. She says, we have these 2 properties. We want to buy a different property in Big Bear. And I started to think when I was sitting there, I was thinking, wow, how many years? It's been 13 years since the grandmother, the mother, this is the daughter, and then their kids. And it's just an amazing relationship that you're forging here when you're helping your clients, because your clients will take care of you. So we go back to the people that we've helped in the past. They're always calling us. We always, communicate with them. We touch them, and we're asking them. In 2-3 years, they move up, they move down. They know somebody. People are always making changes in their lives for whatever reason. So it's a lot of referrals. We tried a couple of other lead sources that weren't working very well for us. One of the things that we liked is for buyers is Zillow, but there's so much volume, you have to go through so much, and it's very time consuming. So for buyers, it's pretty good for us. It's very expensive, but that's always been something that, has helped us with buyers. But if you're going to stick to this business long term, you have to be a listing agent. And that's going after, the people that are primed and ready to sell and realistic about what prices they're going to be selling at. So we're referral based after 13 years.
Right.
For about, I want to say about 60 to 70%.
Awesome. Okay. So 13 years in the business, approximately. And last year, so you're about 60 to 70% referrals. Yeah. Last year, how many transactions as a whole did you do? Do you remember?
51.
51. Mm-hmm. And is it just you? Do you have a whole team? Is it you?
Yeah, we have a couple of people that help us with buyers from time to time. But this last year, it was just listing a lot. But my family is a real huge part of my business. My daughter helps us a lot. She's just amazing and organized. And my husband is right over there. He's awesome. He says he's retired, but I don't think he is. He works more now than ever.
Right.
It's fun. My mom and one of my youngest sons, and then I do have a full-time assistant. And so I couldn't do what I do by myself. And then it's really wonderful because a lot of times when we have listings that are coming soon or people that have called us and say we want to sell our house, I said, okay, we just give us a couple of days. And we blast it out to like 500-600 agents. And then it's wonderful because we get offers from our own HomeSmart agents. We have that window of time and they're all over it. So it's been really great to work with our own HomeSmart agents too. It's really cool.
So out of the 51 or so transactions, how many of them were listings? How many of them were buyers?
We had, how many were listings? 2/3 were listings. 2/3 were listings.
2/3 were listings, okay. So let's talk marketing. Mm-hmm. And I know that it's sphere of influence and it's referrals and it's, the core part of the business, but even to that part of your market, what marketing or what communication do you do? Do you do social media? Do you do pop buys or stop buys? Do you do lunches? Do you do newsletters, postcards? I don't know. I'm asking what kind of marketing items are you doing, or is it just phone, just staying in touch with people?
It's touching people. It really is. I mean,
Okay.
it's our newspaper ads, our magazine, if we do a magazine ad or newspaper for open houses, that obviously does a lot for our business because it attracts people to come in and stop by.
How often do you do open houses?
Pretty much every weekend.
Okay.
Pretty much every weekend we do open houses, and we get a lot of people that come by and they're looking at properties, and then we, work on our database and start to send them information. It's a really good. It's a very, I liken it to someone that's going on a lot to buy a car. If they're coming to the house, they're coming for a reason. Most of the time, some of them are just being nosy neighbors, but they're interested in purchasing a house. Maybe not that one, but you have a perfect setting for you to help other agents. And we've had times when we've had maybe 5 or 6 open houses at the same time, and we always send it out, the addresses, to other HomeSmart agents, and then they come, they sit, have open house, and then they get buyers from there. And it's just this process of growing and helping other people, and then they're helping us as well to get the house exposed.
Right. So would you say that open houses help you get more listings, or do they help you just sell the listings you have?
It helps sell the listings that we have, and then also other properties as well.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you're doing it right. You have to go there with the register, open house register, and get the information. A lot of times I think we feel afraid to ask, hey, what's your phone number? What's your email address? And from the get-go, if you kind of set that tone, a lot of agents feel like, oh, I can't ask for that information. But we're forgetting, that's our only opportunity to stay in contact, to stay in touch. And if they're like, oh, no, I just want to look. We don't tour them in the house. It's like, this is a requirement, and the seller is asking us to take all the information. So would you kindly just sign in? And they're okay, sure, fine. And sometimes if they're the first one on the register, we'll fill in a couple of 2-3 spots.
Right.
And then, okay, somebody else is doing it. Of course, I'll put my information down.
Right.
And it's better if you have an iPad, put it in your iPad so that way it's clear, or you jot it down so they're not scribbling something that you can't read.
Right. So what do you use as that register? You just ask name, phone number, email?
Yeah. So the open house registry, we have one that has, like for instance, this one here. So the first slot will be on the top, and it'll ask, are they just shopping? They need to buy now, they plan to buy within a year, or need to sell a property. And then it'll have space for them to put their business email, address, names, all that good stuff.
Could you email me or text me a photograph of that, just a screenshot? Mm-hmm. I'll put it up in a PowerPoint slide for everyone to see. Where did you get that? Did you make that on your own?
Our title company gets that for us.
Okay, great. All right. Well, that's exciting. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to draw correlations that I'm hearing from other top agents, what they're doing, and open houses consistently has almost been like one of the biggest items that's talked about with listers. And part of it is because they have so many listings, so therefore they need to market them. And then it creates a perception in their marketplace that, oh, listings, they have houses that, they're the right one to sell my home. So it's kind of like builds upon itself. And sometimes creates buyers coming out of the, woodwork. And then sometimes it, other sellers in the neighborhood, you're listing one home, I want you to list my home. So, how often does that happen for you? I want you to list my home too.
It happens.
Okay.
They come in, they like you, you start having a dialogue with them, right. And then it's important for us to keep in contact with them. Right. Send emails, send them a text, how you doing? Are you ready? And sometimes I've gotten a phone call, oh, okay, come and list the house, and then, oh, we'll be ready in 3 or 4 months. If I don't put that down, and if I'm not keeping track, all of a sudden I'll see that listing with some other agent, and I'll be like, I should have, would have. But it's the staying in contact, which is really important. And then also there's, with technology and with everything that comes out, I was learning on a webinar I took today for listing presentations and dialogue and what to do first and how to mix it up and change it. 3 days ago, I was on another conference call, another training call. And it was interesting because the whole thing was there was this ability to do a walkthrough video of a house, or let's just say we do a drone video of a house that we have listed, and then have that video playing, and then we have another little window, a side window, where we're actually talking and narrating the walkthrough for whoever's watching on social media. And I thought, wow, that's so brilliant. And it's free. So I'll send that to you too.
Okay.
I'm gonna start trying that as well. But sharpening, just keeping sharp. What's the latest, what's the greatest, and then having consistency in things that are working and then adopting new things. So it's always about learning, Todd. I think that's probably one of the biggest things I do is I just really love to learn and read and, get ideas, because it's those real, like, tiny ideas that come into your mind, and it's just a matter of implementing them.
Right.
Because this business, for me, this business is like the easiest business, the easiest thing I've ever done in my whole life, my whole career of working out there. It's sometimes as agents, we just find ways to complicate it to, reason why we make so much money, but we don't need to. Just keep it simple, keep it easy, flowing, have fun with it, learn, apply, and do it all over again.
I like that. That's awesome. Okay, so your last listing. Think to your very last listing. Where did it come from? How'd you get it?
My last listing. Oh, gosh. Which one was that, Dar? Had a listing. It wasn't listed. Wasn't listed. It was a client. I was shopping for a house for them. They were getting married. And what happened there, honey? Oh, can't remember. I have a friend that I've sold his property before in the past.
Right.
And I knew he had a house there. And in passing, I don't know, he says, oh, maybe we'll think of selling it at some point or another. And then I was shopping with her, and she wanted a very specific piece of property. And I thought about his house because I've been in it. And then I called him. He says, no, we're in Italy or something. We won't be back until. And I said, well, we'll be back on Sunday. And he says, no, I was just kidding. I'm not even serious. And I said, it's okay. We're just going to take a look-see. So we got there and we hashed out the deal in the kitchen in like less than 3 hours. And I represented both sides. It was a very good transaction. But that was a very easy. It's really easy to work with yourself if you're doing dual agency. I don't know, how people feel about that, but sometimes when you have the right buyer, the right seller in the right situation, you just want to make it happen straight away.
Right. But in the end, you had 2 happy clients. 2 people.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. That's what it's all about. Okay. So texting, social media, yes, no? Do you do those?
I have a coach, and he's very big on not being distracted. Okay. And not multitasking. And I think as agents, it's super important that if we're present, everything else is off around us. Right. And that's helped me a lot to do just that. The texting it just depends on the age and the style that person wants to communicate, which you establish from the get-go. How do you like to communicate? Texting. And I have people that go on Facebook and they message me, and I don't do Facebook. Right. If somebody's going to go and do Facebook, they're going to be in there and they're going to be posting something or writing something. But because I don't do it, I don't answer a lot of times. So it's really important sometimes to have somebody look at that or getting back to people who are interested in buying and selling when they're Facebooking you.
Right.
I don't get myself, but I'm almost 50, so maybe that's why. It's my age. I don't really like it much.
Right. Well, no, but that's what we want to know. I mean, candidly, other agents want to hear what other successful agents are. And I mean, you did, 51 transactions last year, a good 35 plus of them probably listings. Having those yard signs out in the area, I mean, you're something to aspire to. So it's more, I want to just hear your story and what works for you and how you built your business. And how did you get your first business? Think back to 13 years ago. How did your first couple listings come about? Like, what did you?
The first ones came about through doing for sale by owner signs.
Okay.
So I put it in my head that I was going to go and look for sale by owners. I had the scripts. I knew what I was going to say, and I went and I listed this property for, I don't know, it was an industrial piece, so I learned a lot. It was a commercial industrial piece. And then I did another farmland for a client, represented the seller as well, and then he became a solid client over the years. They both did, actually. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. But they didn't either. They didn't know that I didn't know either.
Right.
So it's just being confident, and it's doing the best that you can. I guess it was just not knowing what I was doing that made it really awesome, because, it made me learn and it made me grow and just keep going. And I think that for a lot of us, the for sale by owners are really scary. But they're putting a sign up, and that sign means help me.
Right.
You look at that for sale by owner, just, let it translate to help me. I need your help. Right. Because they're going to get 30%, at least 30% less selling it on their own and could get into some trouble. So they really need your help. So jot those numbers down and go get them.
I like that. I love it. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. If you have an audience full of hungry real estate agents, what's some parting thoughts or advice on someone that wants to focus on listings and being a successful listing agent? Maybe some advice that has been given to you in the past. How do you, you've already shared a lot, but maybe just some parting thoughts.
So parting thoughts are, I think this last Christmas, I had a huge lesson, very expensive lesson. And I took on a lot of listings at the same time, and I didn't have the manpower. So the listings will come. You're, equipped with a solid presentation, the numbers, the market, the listings are going to come. Just get ready, right? So I think that would be my biggest advice is, it's easy to take on listings. There's just an important aspect of being able to maintain communication with your client, call them on a weekly basis, talk to them, touch base with them. I have to work on that, and I always find ways of like, okay, that was my bad, and just accept responsibility for all of what's going on, all the successes, all the learning curves, everything, and take that all as feedback to get better and better. But keep sharpening your tools and learning every day.
Love it.
That's it for me.
Awesome. Well, Angela, thank you so much for being here with us. I've really enjoyed working with you over the years and watching you over the years. Keep it up. And thanks for sharing with everyone today. And I'm impressed.
My pleasure. Thanks, Todd.
All right.
Good luck, everybody. Go list them. Bye.
One. There we go. Okay. Whoops. I'm going to start my video back up. All right, everyone. So, hey, you had a quick question came through on the chat asking is there a recorded podcast, a recorded video of how to give the listing presentation and what you should say, how you should prepare ahead of time, what you should do. And the answer to that is yes. We do have that. We have created a podcast episode about it. We also have recorded videos of it. I will see if I can get the marketing team to send out those links to all of you in the follow-up email going out to everyone after this webinar that will include this PowerPoint as well. So yeah, thanks for a great question. Also, Lynn, thanks for commenting on that, you know, about talking about, you know, as a newer agent, you know, being laser focused in your marketing and how it yields good results. So thanks for that. Okay, so want to talk real quick, recap. Angela, what'd she say, Angela? So, you know, use the heavy list, or the HomeSmart listing presentation was what I just hear from her over and over. The heavy laminated book works so well for her. And, you know, the printed copy, also using the printed copy that goes along with the laminated version. I really learned a lot from her about the pre-listing email of the entire presentation, her testimonials, the marketing plan, the neighborhood solds around every single time before she even goes in on the appointment. What I heard from her was that it also lowers her time there when she's actually meeting with them. It lowers her cancellations. We talked before and after the recording, by the way. And, you know, I just thought that that was a smart thing to do, where and her closing ratios have gone up since she started to do it, and that's why she does that. The open houses, I loved what she talked about with open house, where she said make everyone sign in at the open house. Don't show them the home if they're not willing to sign in. And I think that's wise advice and just something that a top producer would do. This is her open house sheet that she uses. So basically what it does is has the information there, but then also the what are your current plans, just shopping, need to buy now, plan to buy within a year, need to sell a property. She said, ironically, you know, that right there, the need to sell a property, that's a great listing lead right there from other people coming through the open house. So we'll make sure that marketing also sends out a PDF of this so that you all have that as well, or the screenshot here that Angela shared with me. I want to talk real quick about HomeBot, and then I want to talk and go into real quick the results from last week. So there's a company out there called HomeBot, and this is just another resource. I know there's a list of HomeSmart agents that are using a company called HomeBot, and I'm not doing this because it's like an advertising ploy. It's that we're talking about winning listings, and there's something about HomeBot where you send out information on a monthly or a regular basis to someone that tells them the value of their home, how much it's going up, and this is an easy way to automate it, how much equity they have. And HomeBot has really enhanced what they're doing. So how it works is you punch in like 50 or 100 names that go into a system, and then you give them the address of the home that they own, and then this is sent to them. So it's a great way also to keep your past home buyers that you've helped buy homes, that to make sure that they stay in touch with you, so when they're ready to sell, that they stay in touch with you, because your name and information is over this email that then is sent to them every single time. It's a great way to win listings. It's a great way for repeat business and referrals, and it's a great tool for lead conversion. And they have also enhanced it with all these other things. So right there it's telling you, here's how much your home is worth. But then they also have there's too many screens. They're actually going to speak at the Growth Summit as well. You got to come hear what they have to say. But I thought this was really cool. They have a little app that says, you know, when you scroll down on the bottom of it, like, hey, rent your home and buy another, or, you know, this is how much equity you have in your home, or you could be saving this much money, pay your mortgage off early if you pay an extra $300 a month or something like that. So again, I'm not trying to sell you something. I just know a lot of top agents are using HomeBot. I've heard such great reviews about HomeBot. Go to homebot.paragonrels.com. They have some really cool little packages. I know they're going to have some special HomeSmart packages coming out, but I just wanted to give you another resource of a great way to stay in touch with or in front of 100 home potential sellers or 500 home potential sellers. So take a look at that. Go do your own research and see what you think about that. But I've just heard great things. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the contest and the planning worksheet. Obviously, we knew that you couldn't move the needle. You couldn't do too much in 7 days, but we wanted to push and we wanted to put a plan together, and that's what this one-page marketing plan. So if you didn't get the marketing plan last week, please make sure, we'll make sure we send it out again, but it should be in all the links in the download pages. But a simple little plan that has everything here in front of you. It says, this is what I'm going to do over the next 7 days. The form should have been emailed to all of you if you participated in last week's webinar. A lot of agents were posting results and sharing things and sending their sheets to us, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But we did a little group of agents in Philadelphia and Oregon, and I called up several of them, and I worked with them, with all of them over the week, but I want to share a couple of their results. So let's talk about Zac. Zac, thank you so much for being willing to do this with us up in Oregon. Zac won a new listing. It was a listing he hadn't spoken to in 2 to 3 years, saw one of his social media posts, and they reached out. And again, for him, it was just solidification. If I do more of this activity on this one page, that it will result in me being able to help more home buyers and sellers. He said the prospect calls were his least favorite thing to do. He did 25 of them, but out of the 25, he had 12 conversations. And he said he could feel really good about it because he felt good the business is there. Zac, type something into the chat if I'm misspeaking for you. But he said it wasn't really comfortable for him, but he loved the fact that he did it. And he can see that if he does this consistently, that he will get results from this down the road. He did do a mass email blast, said he didn't receive that much action on the email blast, but it was, again, just something to stay in touch, stay in front of all his customers. He did a Facebook lead ad. He got like 40 different people. He got 15 registrants out of the 40. He was very pleased with that. Again, trying something new on marketing geared toward listings. He did 2 open houses. He said he had 40 people through the open house, and he had spoke to 3 other neighbors. One of them was someone that he had door knocked and walked around. That person, so he pushed out of this stood out to me. He said, you pushed me out of my comfort zone. I went and I door knocked 50 doors around the open houses. And he said, I still am not comfortable with it, but I'm happy with the results that I got from it, and I can see why I need to continue to do this more often. One time he said he got invited inside, actually, and had a 30-minute conversation. He feels that he's going to be able to help that, work with that homeowner down the road. And he got invited inside, and then that person also came to the open house. Zac just texted, said over 1,500 impressions on the Facebook ad, got 15 registrations. So that's awesome. Zac, thanks for doing it. I asked him, though, I said, okay, so it wasn't comfortable. Obviously, it was a lot of work this week. He said, would you do it again? He said all of it was good to do. It was 100% worth it. It helped him get into a groove. And this is something I heard from all 6 of the agents that really put a push on this week that I worked with. They said it helped them get set up, that he knows by that one little page plan and even his own notes and everything and his action plan that he has planned for the next month or 2 months, that it's going to help him be more productive down the road because it helped him put a plan together and execute on it. So helped him turn those strategies into actions. He said it's important to push yourself to do more, and I'm excited for what he's going to do. One of the things we might do is we might circle back up with Zac in a couple weeks or months and do a little podcast with him and some of the other agents, and just because this does take time, but he did get some results in his week. More importantly, he just said it felt good, and he knows it's going to pay off. We also had Leanna Smith and Trevor Smith up in Oregon. They said the same thing. They said all of it was good to do. 100% of it was worth it. They would do it again. They actually, husband and wife team, they kind of competed against each other a little bit, and also they worked together, but they did 4 different open houses. Now, they live up in Oregon. They said their Saturday open houses were impacted by the weather. The people coming through were just, the numbers were very, very low, but it said Sunday, they had a great open house. They had had some activity, but the big thing was they had a family come through from California. They couldn't join us on the webinar today because they're actually showing property. So they loved how that worked for them. Now, she just sent me an email, and I want to share with you one other thing she said. I just got it just a minute ago. They're sponsoring a home seller seminar, and they're sponsoring some local bingo coming up. They said they never would have done that before had they not participated in this business builder. So just some new ideas they're going to try, they're going to push through. And she made a comment like, we did awesome this week. So I just had to give them some kudos. But she said, hey, all in all, it was a very motivational week. We did learn the hard way, though, that you really need to be ready for a listing client prior to you being ready. The same day we listened to the webinar, they had a listing appointment that they didn't realize was an interview, and they didn't know what level it was going to go to. We didn't realize it was an interview, and I don't think she was going to list. We didn't think she was going to list with us, but we've since then gotten the listing packet prepared, and the HomeSmart has, and we've have it now, presented it to her, and that is moving forward. So the big thing was that they felt, and we talk about having 5 or 10 of these presentations ready to go at any time, or having that one book like Angela has ready to go ahead of time, because then at all times you're prepared and you have it there. And that was something that I heard from Angela. She said, if I have more, if I'm prepared ahead of time, she said, I found I get more appointments, because I'm not hesitating, I have to go prepare, and putting the appointment off to later. So she's prepared, so she goes and seizes the opportunity. But then when she's in there, her closing ratios seem to go up because she's prepared. So the hard lesson that Leanna shared, and thank you, Leanna, for being transparent and sharing that with the group, is be prepared ahead of time. It was a hard lesson for them that the appointment didn't go as well as if they would have had that preparation. Ron, up in Oregon, Ron Ledke, he sent me this text while I was traveling this week to some offices in Western Colorado. Said, a box of tissues during cold and flu season should count as a meaningful pop buy, right? And I love the little graphic that he had right there. Your referrals blow me away. Ron called in. We talked as well. Has his business card on the outside of the tissue box. And I'm sure he went to Costco, probably bought a big container full of tissues. He said he gave away 12 to 15 of those and gave them away. And he said they went well. The clients loved them. They appreciated them. He said he focused on listings. He didn't get as much of the results this week as he wanted. And he said, ironically, here's something that happened. When I was calling and I was engaging my sphere, all of a sudden my buyer business blew up. And he said, so even though I was trying to be focused on listings, he ended up getting one offer accepted on a buyer. He's putting in one more today, so a buyer offer that it will result in a future sale, a future listing, because it's a buy-sell with a customer, so they're going to buy and then they'll have a home to sell. So that, to me, that in 7 days, that's great results. Ron, thank you for pushing yourself, for doing it. He said he door knocked 150 doors. He wanted to do 300, but I know the weather in Oregon was terrible. So just kudos for doing that. He said he did download the listing presentation. He presented it to one of his sellers that was on the fence and left the packet, and we'll wait to see how that turns out. But the packet, he said, felt was received and worthwhile for doing so. The pop buys, like I said, 12 or 15 of those. He again said the one-page plan has him aligned for upcoming months and is getting him organized. And he said, to me, he said, I wish I would have done more time blocking. This made me realize I could have done more on the plan if I had time blocked. So one of the takeaways from week 1 or week 2, said he's more determined than ever. We'll hit it hard this week and in the coming months. So Ron, kudos to you, and thanks for joining. We have many more to share with you. We're kind of running low here on time. We are going to post out the winners. So the listing, the lighted yard sign to the winner of whoever did the best, and the volunteers, the lighted yard sign of the whoever did the best overall. Isaac, I don't know where you are or what part of the country. I did get your form. It came in right beforehand. I'll make sure it gets added to all the others. I know you did about 980 points for a week. Kudos to you. Awesome. Good job. And, we will announce these winners later on Facebook, and we will also let you all know. So thank you all for joining in on this 4-week series. I hope you found it valuable. I hope you have action items. I hope you had some insights that you can go apply to your business. Now let's go win some listings. Go watch all those recorded previous sessions, as well as the session on how to give a listing presentation. And let's go win some listings. Thank you all for being here. I'm Todd Sumney. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you soon.